That's so wrong.
Yeah, so I'm scarred for life. I don't like any of that stuff.
I don't blame you.
Jason called me and said thinks he blowed the motor in his vehicle.
Oh, no.
And Misty is going to get him in Greenfield. So he won't be here, but he will be late.
Be here, we'll be here. When was the last time the community building was rented? Does anybody know?
The last time what?
This was rented.
Oh, close to Christmas. I don't think we actually have
I
it
saw
in
people
January
here over,
or
When
February.
was yours?
I saw someone
Oh,
here.
no, it was the end of January.
Yeah, somebody was here.
Yeah,
Was
I
somebody
saw
here
cars
last
in June.
I saw, I think, a black vehicle here.
I didn't have, I've got the keys, so.
Well, the bathrooms are horrible, I'll just tell you that, because whoever was here did not,
Yeah,
I just went in and
I haven't get the keys out, but I'd have to look on the calendar, but
Oh, the
there's
bathroom, is that what
yeah,
you're
the
saying?
girls' bathroom hadn't been flushed.
checks.
It was,
What do you mean?
it was bad.
Well, that would have had to have happened since the last meeting, I would think.
True, yeah, that's true, because we cleaned it that day. Yeah, you're right, you're absolutely
There
right,
has,
so,
there's not been any rentals.
well, I'll let you put out a message. My guys are using the women's bathroom and not flushing.
We've got two problems.
Yeah,
Trying to make the women look bad.
yeah, we got an issue.
I guess it depends on how they identified that day.
Well, you know.
True.
This is Greensboro.
It's
We don't-
2025.
Yeah, no, sorry, we don't play that game.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 6:35.
Oh,
Have everything in this bag except the
would have been on. I did want to ask you guys just quickly, do you think these kind of sticky things are okay to use on the paint walls? I know there's always a chance of damage, but
What's the other side of it?
no, both sides are
Oh.
sticky. I got these sign holders and made signs to put up. There's
I mean,
duplicates.
they're gonna be semi-permanent, so I think
Yeah.
it'll be okay.
That's what I
That
think.
was my thought too, but I just
Yeah.
figured I would double check and see what everybody thought. We forgot signatures on minutes last month, so that's why you have an extra paper over there to sign for the minutes for last month. So February meeting called to order at 6:32. Present was myself, Jason, Jennifer, Chris Bickens, Jenna Craighead, and Ben Madison. Minutes from the 2025 meeting, January 2025 meeting were read and approved. Open issues were ordinance updates, the lawyer contracting, the Keyser grant for the roads, rental of the back lot, insurance renewal. I had on my town signs and gas stove pricing as well. New business discussed. I did distribute W-2s for those who were present. The modified ordinances that Jennifer had drafted or crafted were given to Pickens, so we could get with Mr. Morlock to hopefully start on those ordinances. There was discussion about legislation that was being proposed to the state about reserve police officers. Bottom line, Chris said it wasn't anything that would affect us at this time. The fire department had not yet received the $20 distribution check at that time. They discussed getting a generator for the fire department. Ben's trying to get a grant. He's gonna file through the Henry County Community Foundation. Was gathering quotes for a unit. And we talked about having one in the community building as well, but he was only at this time applying and looking for quotes for a unit for the fire department, so we would have to do that separately. He brought up replacing the lights in the fire department with LED lights. The Duke has a 100% reimbursement program for replacing those LED lights, and he wanted to take advantage of that. There's already quotes for that service as well, and would likely need assistance to file for reimbursement since the town controls the electric account through Duke for them. And we talked about possibly taking advantage of that program for the community building as well. Again, that would be separately done. We talked about, as we have in the past, the fire department has services in there for themselves, and they're considered an emergency warming shelter. So that's one of the reasons they're looking at getting a grant and some other things in the future possibly for emergencies. We talked about the township consolidation bill that was being proposed also that could affect fire departments in Henry County and other small communities. And Ben said that was dead in the water basically, and that it wasn't gonna pass, and so they weren't concerned with that affecting them at that time. The tornado siren wasn't working, but I did at that time have a call in for a repair. It's since been repaired now. We did discuss briefly with no resolution, but it just seems like we're having to have that repaired a couple times a year, at least once a year, since I've been around the last few years, and kind of wondering why that is, because it's not exactly cheap. I did propose that question to them, to Federal Field Services, and they said it was because of it being tested in cold temperatures. We don't have any control over that since it's done by dispatch out of Henry County. But then when we were discussing it in the meeting, you guys said that really doesn't make sense either. So if anybody wants to think about that.
So don't they test other
Everybody's,
things?
yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Cannon Crusaders was having a Dine to Donate on February 4th at Inconel, Newcastle. The Greensboro Police Department Easter event is scheduled for April 19th at 2 p.m. Chris mentioned that the emergency floodlights in the community building were not working, and he had found some replacement batteries through Gordon Electric Supply, and the board voted to replace 4 out of the 8 lights, and that would be an approximate cost of $80. And he gave me that information to order those. The insurance for the town and the police department, at the time of the February meeting, we were supposed to vote on whether to pay the full year or pay the split, because Chris has been shopping around for better rates. And the board voted to renew at the split rate, but keep shopping for a possibly better plan. Police department has obtained their 501c3. The monthly stats were reported. I had done some cleaning in late January of the carpets and all floors and just general cleaning, bathrooms, kitchen stuff. And then notably I went around and tried to get all of the debris, tape, paper clips, all kinds of things out of all of the ceiling tiles and off of all of the walls, so that, obviously it looks cleaner and we can better track to whether any renters in the future put stuff up and shouldn't be, as we have asked and put in our contract to not put anything on the walls. We talked about organizing the utility room to make it better accessible, and Chris had said there were some display cabinets back in there, or in the PD, I'm not sure which, that were up for grabs if anybody wanted them, or they were going to dispose of them. And that was pretty much it for the February meeting. I did order the lights, for the floodlights, or the batteries, I'm sorry, for the floodlights. They have not come in yet, but I did check with them and they said they should ship out late this week. So you do have a payment request there for those, even though we haven't got them yet. I checked into the Duke program for the light replacements, and it looks like, because we talked about, Chris offered to replace the lights in the community building at no cost to the town, and then we talked about maybe, you know, if he invoiced the town for the cost of the lights and his labor, then, you know, he could take that as, obviously, he could contribute it to the police department. It would be his money to do with as he saw fit. It was just an idea that I had. It doesn't look like you could do that though. They don't outright say that you have to have a licensed electrician, but basically it's like, well, here's some vendors you can use. You don't have to use those. You can do it yourself, but we're not gonna pay you to do it. So that, as far as the community building taking advantage of that, we wouldn't be able to do it that way.
I think we move forward on replacing, but not asking for the reimbursement from Duke. It's not the hassle. It would be nice to get the rebate from them.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, fortunately, it's not that expensive,
Mhm.
so probably Steve and I will do it. We'll launch.
But can we get reimbursed for the cost of the lights and not the labor?
Yeah, if we wanted to submit that, it sounds like.
The
we
lights
could
are very
technically.
inexpensive. I mean, like the ones that are in the PD, I think they're like $6 or $7 a piece. I mean, I get a heck of a deal on LED lights, so, I'll just buy them and donate them. I don't care about the reimbursement, because
Okay,
it doesn't matter to me.
that's on record.
Yeah, I've already donated enough. I don't think a few lights are gonna matter.
I think that's all the stuff that I have for you guys. You guys wanna do updates on other outstanding stuff or new business?
I just have a request. I showed Michael a picture, I sent you a picture of the tree bombing.
The what?
Oh, yeah,
It's called a tree bombing.
yeah.
These around a tree.
Oh, I was thinking,
Oh.
wait a minute, bomb. I was like, wait a minute, what, I didn't.
And that's what they call it.
Oh, okay.
They call it tree
Okay.
bombing.
Tree bombing, I've never heard that
And the
term.
picture someone sent me had smiley faces and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Well, I thought we'd make one to put in the park that had cartoon characters.
Yeah,
Aw.
And you just Velcro them in, and they're stretchy, and there's holes so that
Yeah.
they can breathe. And I thought it'd be something the kids would like.
absolutely.
that'd be nice.
That's cool.
So we need just.
Did
to
you
go
make
down-
those?
Yeah, need to
Really?
go down and measure a tree and see if
Yeah.
there's one small enough. If
Wow.
not, I can add to each side. And you
Nice.
just put a strip of Velcro them on, take them off in the summer or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
cute.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then, speaking of trees, Larry's cousin, who was from Newcastle, and lived away for years and years, she lives in Virginia now, and she wanted to do something for us, because our grandson died 2 weeks ago,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
and
that.
his sister's husband, Don Dalton, just passed away. She would like to buy a tree and have it planted out here. And I asked her what she would like to spend, and she said $200 or $300. So, and I know you can't do it till probably April something or other. But I didn't know if you guys wanted to pick out a tree and then she would send me a check. Since she can't be here to help, she wanted to
Yeah.
do something to donate.
Actually, we were gonna bring up, we found, a place that has trees that, really nice trees. And they're very inexpensive.
I was gonna say, where did you get the Christmas tree from? It wasn't very
Uh,
expensive.
Christmas tree farm out north of.
Misty, do you have that information?
I don't remember how much it cost, but it wasn't.
No,
Yeah, they've got like the cherry blossoms,
Ooh, yeah.
that kind of
She
stuff.
said she would like for one of them to be kind of colorful. if you
Yeah,
could get
flowering
one.
tree.
For like,
Yeah.
Just whatever grows best in our soil.
they start off at around $25.
Yeah. Cause I know we had
Most of
some
those
that
trees
died
are a
because
lot higher
they just
than that.
couldn't survive in our soil.
Right.
Yeah. And
Need
we
to
never
watch
could
about
find a plot.
trees that,
for
draw
those.
bees and stuff like that, so
Oh.
you don't want them around anywhere close to the kids.
Well, where I would have liked to, if we do move forward with putting more trees and stuff in,
$10.
as along the fence row over there on the other side of the drainage ditch, just that, you know, it's a 10-foot wide,
exactly.
probably 20-foot wide section right there. And I thought we could put trees in there, one that's gonna help drawing the water where it all stands over in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just,
Well, I think she would like one in the park where there can be a plaque.
It's a,
Yeah.
it's a memory tree.
Yeah.
well, I wanted to go all the way down by the walkway,
Uh-huh.
all the way down to the big, I think that's the maple, right there at the corner of it.
I don't know, we planted it, so.
Well, before when we did it, we took a chain and we had a plaque, but as the tree grew, the
Yeah.
chains were too small.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
Well,
found.
she said
Yeah.
at Newcastle on their bike trail where they have trees planted, they have a little plaque on the ground and there's little stakes that hold it.
That's a good idea.
That's
As
what
the
the
tree
tree
grows.
She
you
said
might
she
worry
would
about
pay for the-
replacing-
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's.
She
what
said
I've
she
been
would pay
looking
for the
into.
plaque, the 2 plaques.
But yeah, that would be,
Yeah.
we could definitely do something there.
That's a good idea.
If you guys have a certain tree, or even more than one, I just, you know, we'll do whatever.
We'll pay for the trees and I'll plant them. I've got a man, post of them.
Well, I was gonna say, I've got a friend that's got one that goes on the back of a tractor. And he'd just come out and knock holes in the ground for us.
But I'd be
She said
interested,
to get whatever you thought would grow the
Okay.
best here.
I'd be interested in paying for some of the trees you wanna go down that way with. I'll buy that, some of them.
If they're only $25 a pop,
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good deal.
Well, the
But
arbor,
how
the
big, I mean, how
arbor's
big,
gonna
I
give
mean,
you
are they
trees for free.
babies, or
Little
they
ones.
a couple years old, or?
they appear the best we can tell.
It's a nursery, so they're all brand new grown.
I haven't had time to go over there
Sure.
to look at them yet.
Sure.
You can always ask for sizes, prices, anything like that.
Okay.
So I just sent it to Jen.
Okay.
Nice.
Need to find out how big they spread out.
Yeah.
But what are, you know, something around cherry blossom size, those, not big trees, but they're not the little tiny
Yeah.
stuff. Something that flowers, something that, you know, even when it's not flowered, it still has the
Yeah,
pretty
we can
leaves
roll.
and,
So I have a
That
weeping
way it's
cherry,
not-
and it doesn't attract bees,
She just said if you
But
could
it's
get something
white.
that had some color in it.
flowering with red,
mhm.
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah, you
beautiful.
guys
They are.
check it out.
I
Weeping
love
cherry
weeping
trees,
cherries.
oh, they're
We'll just send you the
beautiful.
money.
And, I mean, I have it, huh,
Now, some of
or a
them,
pear tree.
Walmart sells trees.
some of them trees, you gotta be real careful, because they break off real
Yes.
quick.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
A lot of
The-
guys find their driveway and they'll lose
Yeah.
one or two about
Yeah.
every other year.
Yep.
But
No,
the
you
tops
can't do
get
it
so
until
heavy
probably
quick.
April.
Yes.
Sometime.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to buy 8 of them, $25 a piece, I'll buy 8 of them, go down that side. But the memory, I'd like to see them put in the park.
Okay, yeah, that's not a problem. We just need to figure out with the, playground equipment that Ellie's purchasing,
Yeah, place,
where we
Purchased,
need
I
to set it in relation to where we need to put the trees.
that'd be nice.
And I've already got that all lined up. We're gonna take our crane truck, pick it up and bring it out here and deliver it. It's the kind that has a big claw that picks stuff up. So whenever that's ready I just need an address and the owner told me just whatever. He said, send Ronnie, go get it, take it to wherever you have to take it. So,
We need to maybe plan a community day around that.
well, probably after it gets,
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe we can use that bigger thing to put 'cause
That's pretty inexpensive though.
I'm hoping that, I've given her a couple of days. She said first part of March. Haven't heard from her yet, but this is the first business day of the month. So
Right.
hopefully by the end of the week, she'll be getting hold of me. If not, I'll get a hold of her and get it all scheduled.
And I did get the message. I guess somebody from the water, the state
Yeah.
called your wife. Yeah, since January, I've reached out to them multiple times, emails, phone calls.
So have I.
I
And
got one from them today.
why they had her number is still beyond me. But I reached back out to it because I didn't see it until about 10 till 5. So I called her right back, left a message again. The February. Yeah, this is March, right?
Yeah.
The February water thing did not go in. I'll take all the responsibility for that, but it just did not get there. March's will be there tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna get up, do it first thing in the morning, she goes to work. And she's dropped, I mean, it's right there next to the hospital, she drops it off. She's even talked to the people there, trying to get them to direct the people that's supposed to be sending the stuff to my house. And I can't get a hold of anyone.
Wait, let me educate me on this. So you have to do this once a month, right?
Yeah, the state, what they used to, it was 4 times a month, or 4 times a year.
Okay.
This year, due to, what I honestly believe, due to Ron going through and saying, hey, we're going to streamline the government if we don't think it needs to be, they increased the testing to every month
Every month, okay.
to justify their job.
Does it have to be turned in by a certain time of the month, or,
Any day in the month.
so can we make it easier for you if you could plan it? And you could do your water sample or whatever it is that you gotta do on the day that we have these meetings, give it to us and we will drop it off.
It's gotta be there in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, you're only allowed so many hours.
So if you take the sample today, right? Use this as an example, you take it today, and then when we leave this meeting, I would drop it off.
They have to
Heading
be
that way.
open.
Yeah,
to drop it
you
off.
have,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't know if there was like a night drop box.
and as
or-
far as I know, there's not, is there?
There is, but we put that one in there before and they didn't get it.
Yeah, they claim they never got
They
it.
said they
I'm
didn't get
just,
it.
I'm just
and
thinking, if I
dropped
could
it in
save
the
you
box.
time, drive right by there.
Yeah, and it's, like I said, it's right next to her work, so the days that she's going to work, I just plan on getting up that early that
Is it on
morning.
16th and MLK? The state,
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
it's right next to ISP's lab, state police.
Yeah, it's all right there together.
Yeah, they're all,
I drive right by it.
so if there's any
If you could,
yelling and screaming to be done, just
yeah,
yell and
if
scream
there's
to me,
anything we
it's my
can do
fault.
to help with the delivery or whatever of that, then we
Didn't I
gotta keep
take
that in
one
mind.
in February though?
They said they didn't get it, so I don't know.
I bet that's the one I dropped in the box that they claim they didn't get.
Yeah, I mean, if they have like a,
That's why we started doing it where I would, on my days
Yeah,
on,
I
because
got
I
you.
can walk in there and hand it to them.
Sure, sure.
And personally see
Yeah.
that they got it.
okay, well, if there's something we can do, we'll be more than happy to take it and drop it off for you, save you a trip.
But yeah, they're doing 2 separate types. This, one's still quarterly, and then the other one's monthly. And we've never had anything come back with any other test, but they're increasing the testing. So like I said, I think it's people just worried about their jobs being justified with all the budget cuts and job cuts and them trying to shrink down the government, that they're trying to justify their job.
Isn't it like within 24 hours you have to have the,
Well, I would
First it was
test, I would
72.
test it on my way to work and take it up to Kroger's, to the FedEx, the drop box there, and drop it in that morning. And they picked up like at noon or at 5 o'clock or something.
The first
I
one I
never
done,
ever got one back.
the first one I done, UPS picked up at work at 9:45. It was dropped out there at 2 something, I don't remember exactly what time, they called me and told me they didn't get it in their allotted amount of time. I did it that
The
morning,
following day or the same day?
same day. So my UPS man, you know, he said, yeah, I guarantee you, they still let it sit on the shelf.
How can they even tell when you do it?
Right.
There's a timestamp on
No, how do they know when you?
You
collect
write it
money?
in.
Because you have to write it in on.
Yeah,
the
you have to
form.
write it in. so you
How
can
much
make
do
it
we
read
pay
like-
somebody to do that?
We don't.
We don't
now.
anymore, he does it.
I was gonna say, cause I did it for years and years.
Yeah, then they did start paying somebody, and it was like 250 or something like that,
Yeah.
which isn't a lot, but
You can save that money and do it ourselves.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, Jamie came down here and showed me how to do it, cause that's what he does for a living.
it. Yeah, that's who we were paying to do it at one point.
Yeah,
Well,
he
so
came down and
far-
showed me how to do it.
When, as far as long as I've been doing this and you've been doing it, nothing's been really said about when we've messed up or missed. I assume we would have to get very in arrears before
yeah.
it would start having some sort of, that's just an assumption, but
Yeah.
nothing
you
ever
take
happens
the
other than
sample
they
and write
send me an
tomorrow's
email and say
date
it's
on
not
it?
done.
I mean,
I don't know.
theoretically, right? I mean, you could take the sample now, write tomorrow's date on it. How would anybody know? I mean, I know that sounds,
Cause if it tested back positive, they'd think, boy,
Cause it's a bacteria test.
yeah.
So it's gonna grow over
The
time.
longer it
Yeah.
sits, it could grow.
But I never had a problem, and I put mine in that Kroger thing. You know.
yeah, and they had to have been an overnight delivery when you were dropping it off,
Yeah.
right? So they got it the next day. Because it's by a courier service and it's tracked, maybe, who knows?
I don't know.
I don't know, since COVID, all the shipping stuff has changed so much
Yeah,
too.
a lot of things have changed.
But yeah, so, I mean, it's not normally an issue. Cause she has to go to the office normally at least once a week. So I'll make it work. I apologize for some reason. They're saying one didn't, and I'll do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen again. At least we know if she walks in and hands it to them, they've got it.
Get a receipt, too.
Yeah, have them to give you a
They
receipt.
have a little sign-in thing,
They do.
so they write it down on there, what time you dropped it off and all that.
And most of the problem isn't at the lab so much as it is at the government side of where we seem to have the most issue on getting stuff straightened out.
So she sent that email, like she said in the voicemail, and that's the other thing I keep telling them too, because everything keeps going to the Google Gmail at town email address. And I've told them before, it's like, please use the .gov. And I responded to her today, and I'm look, here's Jason's phone number, and here's the email for the town. Those are the only things that you guys should have as contacts now. It's like, I've told you, he's told you, like, I don't understand why this is so hard to get up.
We called them when she resigned and told them to switch it all over.
We don't feel bad, they call me all the time for permits, and how long's it been, 5 years?
At
They're
least.
still giving, yeah, and while
Where
we're
are they
talking
getting
about
the
that,
number, your phone number from though? Where,
It's just in the system.
they give it to them at the courthouse,
yeah.
if they wanna find out about a permit or how something's zoned. And then the other day, that guy in that blue house, I called you, did you ever talk to him?
Oh, yeah, we got that straightened out.
Okay,
Oh,
The alley thing,
my thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
The what now?
Somebody blocking an alley and people stuck in the house, couldn't get out.
See, how the alley used to go straight back and turn both ways, it T, and go south, and then it used to come out right by the church up there, but a member of the church almost got hit one time. So we agreed for them to stop it right there, because it only affected, two houses at a time. That one's tore down there. And we allowed them to put a post in the middle of that alley. So you could either, well, all of them basically closed going down through there, but there's an alley. Once you get back there where it T's, it goes south and one goes north. A lot of these alleys, they're still open, but they've never really been closed.
Yeah.
they're just not maintained.
Well-
not maintained, cause the town couldn't really afford it.
I found the paperwork here a while back where, I can't remember how long ago, that's early 2000s, I think, wasn't it? Something like that. Anyways, I believe it was you had filed the paperwork to have them all closed.
Yeah, Connie had the paperwork. We wanted to do it all in one thing,
Yeah,
so it wouldn't cost so much money. And after that, if you wanted to close, you had to pay for it.
right.
But
And
Connie
I
had the
found that
map.
paperwork here a while back and contacted the courthouse and asked them if they could update the online tools or how we could get that updated, because when you go to look it up, like on Beacon, it doesn't reflect it appropriately. And
Yeah, like it still
See,
shows the
A lot of people. want
Howard,
to-
Howard Lockridge's is open.
Yeah. there shows there's an alley between my house and the
Well,
property
if
next to
you
it.
look, it shows that Main Street goes all the way up out
Yeah.
to the corner.
Yeah.
And I see
Anyways.
people all the time that come by my house at about 40 miles an hour.
They told me that they were gonna get it updated, but I still, last time I looked, it
Years
wasn't.
ago, there used to be a lot more houses in Greensboro, because down them alleys, you had little houses there, maybe 2 rooms,
Yeah.
down the alleys. And, of course, that back horse and buggy and all that stuff. Then that kinda got absorbed, and people bought to the alley, bought them places out. But they used to be way more, we had, 2 doctors here in town, had 3 grocery stores. I mean, it was a lot bigger than what it is now,
Wow,
but it basically same area.
right,
But there was just a lot more people crammed into it.
little metropolis.
Interesting.
But back then, they had horses and buggies, and most people walked wherever they went.
Yeah.
So refresh my memory, Jason, we're moving forward with the back lot with the farmer, or no, or do we know?
I haven't been able to sit down with him between holidays, vacations, and him just having,
He had surgery or no, I'm thinking of the attorney.
yeah, so I haven't really just got to sit down with him. I don't know if Michael got to talk to him any while he was doing the sign work with him. I've talked to just about everybody else that's involved except for the main man. And it's just a case that I can't seem to catch him when he's available, and when,
You're into March now, and it had been seated before then.
but, yeah, so it's just been a case of just can't get
Okay.
the ducks in a row.
And Mary, I don't know if you know who has the apple trees in the back, the ones that are dead. Do you remember?
I don't know, I gave somebody that big map
Yeah,
several years ago, and it had locations for all of them. I had an envelope that had everybody's name that donated, what kind of tree they had, and how much they paid. But when I got audited, I put all that stuff in boxes, and it had to have been somewhere around that year, because that's when this building was built. You know, we bought this property right before that, and
Yeah.
planted the trees. I can't remember if we planted the trees before we built this building or what,
I think
but
we
it would
did.
be
yeah.
in a box somewhere around those years.
Well, if it was in the shed,
I put everything in the shed in plastic totes so the mice wouldn't get in it.
Yeah, see, there was no plastic totes in there. when
Well,
I-
that's because they put them in that pantry there. Ralph did something with them, he got them out of there, I don't know.
Everything
But
that was.
that map with the trees on it was cardboard. And I remember taking it to somebody and saying, this is a map of the trees. But that was years ago.
Everything that was in the shed, there might have been one tote, but I'm not even positive, but it was all in a file cabinet, and it was all covered in mouse
Yeah.
doo-doo. and
yeah, and
Well,
wet.
God knows
did
what
you help
else,
me?
and wet.
That day we went down there and got that stuff out of that,
I think so.
we went down and got it out there and put them in totes so that,
I think so, yeah.
yeah. But then Ralph told me he went through it and he got stuff out and put them in the file cabinet.
Oh,
in there.
I believe-
I think it's already went
Yeah,
through
we
everything in
looked.
there.
Yeah.
You know,
I just knew there was a lot of stuff back there, I just didn't
Yeah.
know what was back there. A lot of things that we created and added to that
Mhm.
back there, but I never went through any of it, so.
Alright, moving on.
Yeah.
talked to, the lawyer, Michael, or anybody?
I have not.
No,
I was looking at Jason to see if he had some.
I've been down.
Last time he had surgery, he was out with surgery. That was what I heard last.
That's what I heard.
I got a question. Does anybody know if they're gonna sell the lodge?
I've heard it.
I've heard it, and I've heard the no.
That's, I was gonna say, I've heard both ways, that's why.
They've been doing a lot of work over there.
What lot?
Lodge.
Lodge.
Masonic
Oh.
Lodge.
I would think I'd go back to the song.
That one.
The Middletown. And you could go to
Well,
that.
Rick said several months ago that that rumor wasn't true, but that was, what, almost a year ago when Larry talked.
At least the fall, if not
Yeah.
longer.
I've been in there. It's real, it's back in the 40s. They haven't really done a whole lot in there, but it's nice.
Is it? It's not run down?
Could the town make a wedding chapel out of it?
I don't know.
Bed and breakfast?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course,
We have an
you've heard that
Airbnb.
it's
Yeah, I
haunted.
was gonna say, we got an
Where?
Airbnb, we can have a bed and
Blue
breakfast.
House on Main Street.
The Blue House.
Yeah,
I've
the
been
one
in
that,
it, but
the
I've
walk
never
driveway.
been upstairs, cause that's the hall. That's where
Across
they
from
all
Chester.
eat.
Oh,
I'll talk
Really?
to
That's
Rick
an
and see
Airbnb?
what he says.
Mhm. It's actually really nice inside.
I mowed that yard for years.
Wow.
All right, I just quit.
Can he do that without rezoning? He called me when he first
An
bought that house
Airbnb,
and asked me what the zoning was on
Special
it.
zoning for that.
One more.
yeah, there's no special license, at least outside of Indianapolis. They're trying to pass,
No, I
Some kind
mean,
of
wouldn't it
thing
have to be
in
zoned, commercial and it's, cause
well,
it's single residential right now?
let's look here at the,
I don't know if Airbnb is covering that.
What
under,
we talking about?
it's,
Blue House.
there's a rental clause in here.
Yeah.
I recall.
I have the updated for you, by the way.
Oh, did you? Okay. Did you dot all my i's and
Well,
cross all
and
my
I
t's?
got with an attorney to go over a few things,
Okay.
but
I know one of the firemen lives at 130 north. That house is 130 south. And he's had several renters show up at his house in the middle of the night trying to get in his house.
Oh, no.
Not good.
ooh,
Yeah, cause if that's who I'm thinking it is, that's
Yeah,
not the
It's
guy,
not good.
that's not the guy you wanna be beating on his door at 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's not what happened.
No. He's,
is
yeah,
the house
not the one-
clearly marked, the address clearly?
They're
marked?
both marked 130, but one is north, one is south. There's only 2 blocks between them.
Right.
It's Greensboro. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like you're.
Of course,
I
yeah.
hate that about this town.
You have to put an S in front of it.
Well, he's contacted whoever the Airbnb company is, the owners of the house, trying to get him to get it straightened out.
Yeah, get
And
rid
one of
of
them,
it.
he's got a basement window well, with an egress window in his basement. They ran over that, got their car stuck, they broke his window,
Oh,
tore up the siding on his house.
yeah, see, Jason never said nothing to me about that.
So
Wow, they,
it's a
how you
problem.
get that close to the house that you?
Because on their description of the house, it tells them to stay to the right of the drive.
Oh.
Because it shares a drive with that other dump next to it.
Oh.
And so
Yeah.
it's really only one drive wide.
Yeah, yeah.
His truck sits there and they
They
drive
take
right through
it
his
around.
yard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come on, oh, I put up some rocks or
We
something.
put up a sign, not the rental.
Yeah. Some big boulders so
You
that you
just
can
pick
drive.
somebody up and throw them out.
And his house looks more like a Airbnb than the one that actually is because it's nicely decorated out front.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It looks like.
yes.
They used to have a real pretty porch on it
Who are you talking about?
too.
Jason Dishman.
Oh,
The gray and black house.
The house.
The one that was
Butch
redone just in the
McDonald-
last 3 years or so.
Starbucks.
The one that Butch McDonald used to live in years ago.
I thought it was Starbucks. lived
no,
there.
they're
No.
talking about 130 north.
Yeah,
Oh, north.
yeah, beside where Chester's house was, that they tore
Yeah.
down.
There's 2 empty lots between it and the big white one on the corner that's on the corner.
There used to be a house right there where the Nazarene Church's parking lot is. Cecil Reese used to live there. And that was, a lot of people thought that was the Underground Railroad where the slaves stayed. They thought there was a tunnel went from the town hall over to that, but there was nothing. They might have had a basement in it, but they just hid them there, in hidden rooms. there wasn't no underground railroad. It was just, that's, the slaves went north, but that was a long, long time ago.
Do those people look on a GPS thing and that's where it takes them to his house?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, if they see 130, if that's the first 130 they come to, especially if you're coming from like 70, 130 is the first one. You know, they go past that one and go to his house for some reason. I don't know.
You know
If
how
it's not
GPS
clearly
works in
marked or-
Greensboro. You're lucky
Yeah.
you're in the right town.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it says right here, North Street is Knightstown, so.
Yeah.
Maybe
Look
we
on
need
Google
to
Maps.
get directional signs.
Google Maps
A
shows you
quarter
fire
mile
department in
later in
Knightstown.
Newcastle.
The owner of the Airbnb and I are working on a sign for his property, so that will be, shouldn't be an issue once weather gets a little bit better and we
Better
can get
step it
something
up.
up there.
Okay, so now we just tell Jason to go talk to Michael when somebody shows up.
Yeah.
Well, I've already talked to him and Molly, so.
Yeah.
I have a question. Spring is coming on us and I'm gonna be planning for the park soon. Do I have money to spend on doing anything in the park?
No,
I didn't ask you.
He's in trouble with
that just means that it's coming out of my pocket.
Slack it, I haven't given you guys some, well, actually, it would be listed on there. I'll usually give you a little summary. It's easier.
I have found some, it's not, I don't know, what would you call that? It's not even rubber roofing.
It's not even what?
They claim it as a rubber roofing, but it's not really a rubber roofing. It's like a neoprene. I don't know what it is, but we can get it. It's what, $10 or $20 for
$10 a sheet.
sheet, and it's pretty good sized pieces. And like for the flower beds and stuff, if you
Keep
put
the
that
weeds
up,
out.
put that down, yes, it's going to keep the
Around
weeds
the
out.
bottom of the
Oh,
leaves.
I was like, where are we going with this?
Yeah,
You're talking about roofing, I'm thinking you're covering, yeah, okay.
I would like to.
So the balance
see
is
the
$919.52 is what you have in that.
walkway.
So as far as purchasing stuff, do I just need to go buy it and then bring in the receipt?
That or get a price and then have Ellie cut you a check.
Be careful, your shoes untied.
Or I can order it, so we can do it exempt if something that, like I can order
Well, we,
or go with you to go get or whatever.
as I say, like Habitat for Humanity is where we found that stuff.
Have a lot of it?
They're
In
pretty good
Greenfield
pile.
or?
Yeah.
So,
What do you do?
I mean,
Put that down and cut a hole for the flower to come
Yep.
in.
Yep, if it's
Yep.
thick enough, it's better, you know how you get that roll stuff and the weeds still come through
Yeah.
it? And you pay like
I
$20
think so.
for those rolls.
Yeah.
And the weeds will still come through. This stuff, the weeds are not gonna come through it. It's $10 a piece and they're massive. So I put those down and then put mulch over top of
Yeah.
that and, put my flowers down
Right
there.
out.
And I'm gonna bring flowers from the house, cause I've gotta thin them out. So I'll
Mhm.
do some
She
flowers.
put them where I
out.
can't mow them over, so she's gotta send them out.
It's however you wanna do it. If it's something like that and you wanna get it while you're there, I understand, and it might not be there when you go back. Bring your receipt.
Anybody else?
A couple of things for the fire department, I don't know, when you're ready.
For the playground equipment, did we get anything to go underneath?
Yes,
Did that come with it?
yeah, it's called, I gotta think about it now, like engineered mulch or
The
something
rubber
like.
stuff.
No,
It's
it's
ground up
not wood,
tires.
it's wood fiber.
Ground up tires, I know the company.
Wood carpet engineered wood fiber is what it's called. But yeah, so it's the swing set itself, the structure, the swings, the ADA swing, and that wood mulch stuff that goes down. And then, so that's everything that's on order. And then, like I said, we'll have to buy some concrete and, we may have to think about some edging for that mulch.
Yeah.
Can you send me a picture or description or something like that?
I have the description here if you wanna look at it, but I can send you something too that actually has pictures and stuff.
But while you look for that, you want Ben to go ahead and tell us what?
I don't know, did the town move forward anything with the Henry County Community Foundation grant?
I went online and filled out the application and stuff. And then I had called Ellie to verify, my mom went on hospice during that time and has since passed, but, I didn't
Okay,
get it in on time.
okay.
When I called her, she's like, oh, it closed at what, noon? Was it noon that day or whatever it was?
Something like that. or
So
maybe
it was
the day
like-
before.
You know,
Okay,
but,
well, we did submit our letter of intent.
mhm.
We did get selected to go to the next round, which was a full application.
Okay,
So that's due March 20th. However, I found out in the meantime that we may have, it's not an issue, like, it's not a big issue, but the problem is the well or the what is all through this building. So even if we get our generator, we won't have water if we don't have power. So that could be an issue. I mean, again, it's just a matter of water, I guess, but
mhm,
we'd still have heat and our doors would still open and all that, so.
yeah.
If at some later point in time that would happen, then that'd be great, then we're all gonna have water. So that's one thing, and then the other thing was, the way Duke is set up, because we're still talking about replacing all of our lights. I think our quote came in at $4,100 to do all the work at our station, but they would reimburse us $3,400. It cost us $712 basically out of pocket to replace every light in the fire station with all LED. The problem with it is if we're not doing everything, they want us to be on a separate account, which isn't an issue. I don't know why it's set up the way it is, to be honest with you. Steve really couldn't clarify for me because we have our own meter. We have a separate meter on our building than this building, so I don't know why it all, you know what I mean? I'm not sure why. Then that would eliminate some of the issue with having to pay half the utility because it would be on us anyway. But I don't know what the issue is with that, and maybe somebody else knows more than I know.
Yeah, Mary maybe can.
Well, I always got separate bills. I would get like 4 bills.
Unless they internally combine them, you know.
I don't
maybe it's-
know. I
maybe
mean,
it's
do
a
we get, is there a
different-
separate bill for that building?
Yeah, you have your own
You get
meter,
separate
and then
bills
there's a
for-
separate bill, but it's in the, the town's name.
Right, that's what I'm wondering is if we just change that to the fire department, then you guys don't even have to pay that bill.
Yeah.
We would pay that bill.
They just have to
I
they don't
second
read
that.
meters much anymore.
Yeah,
Tell you.
I don't know.
But they have it all separated, your building and our building and streetlights and,
Right,
but it was in the town's name. So
Right,
I would
that's what
just
I'm
have to
saying.
Change it over to your.
that's what I'm asking, I guess, is of the town board, is if it's okay that we switch that into our name for that building.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
If you guys don't have a problem at all, I can work with Ellie, we can get
Okay.
that done, cause I don't think they'll just talk to me, it'll have to be between the two of us probably to get it done, but.
And then, so then the next question is right now, we're giving the fire department all of the Lloyd money minus half
Half
of
the
their
utility.
electricity bill, plus the, set amount.
The $2,500
Yeah.
contract.
So if we move the electric bill totally over to them, are we just gonna do 2,500 plus the Lloyd? Is that what we would do?
That's what I would assume.
Would be okay.
Sometimes I would just, whenever I gave them their December bill, I would just subtract or add to half of whatever their utilities were.
Right, and the check and the printout, and all that's great, I mean, it tells us everything we need to know. It just, it would simplify it for you, wouldn't have to do as much on that end if you guys, there's really no advantage to you guys having your name on it, other than you have to pay the bill every month and.
No, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna take over the bill, then
Yeah.
that's actually saving us money.
Yeah.
Has the fire department been paying their bill to the town?
What are we talking about?
The
The
electricity?
$1.
The $1 a year.
Oh, I don't
He's
know.
always saying,
That I don't know.
That was, for some reason, there was the reason to do that. And we decided on $1.
that's so
Yeah.
that the building is still belongs to the town.
Yeah, it was like a 100-year lease or something.
Something like that.
Oh, they
And-
haven't
I
and
paid
think
do
we
you
got
know
a
if
few
you
years
have-
left on that.
What's that?
500%
We got a few
interest.
years left
Yeah.
on that.
Do you have any poles in the park or anything that the lights never work? Because we paid $8 per pole, and if they're not working, they still charge you the
We went
$8 per
through
pole.
around
There's
that
some
last
that are
summer.
shut off.
Yeah. There's
Yeah, but
some,
the guy had told me if we don't come and take those poles down, you're still paying $8.
well, they wouldn't even come and look at the pole that fell down.
Right, yeah, last year.
They said, oh, it's not ours.
You're still paying for it, I bet.
I don't
Well,
know, I remember.
I think we got that straightened out though, cause they were only 3 lights. Well, I mean, we never did figure out who the pole belongs to.
Yeah,
But there was only like 3 poles or 3 lights that was supposed to be on the bill.
Well, we
There's
had,
one
well, we had a lot
up
more
at the
than
White
that.
House, the Blue House. The guy came in that
Mm-hmm.
one and wanted to know about that light, but we didn't know. And it's leaning.
Yeah, that's the pole.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one nobody will take
Yeah,
responsibility for.
that's one of the other ones nobody knows who it belongs
Does it have a
to.
wire running to it?
Yeah, and they still say they don't have any idea whose it is.
All of them are due poles.
Well, some of them are Frontier.
We had to have a certain number of poles
It
per
had a
feet.
metal
Just had
plate on it.
telephone wire. on it.
Yeah, it had a metal plate or something, but it wasn't Duke, it was
Yeah.
something else.
Some of them are Frontiers, from back when Frontier had the,
That was
Cable
after,
service.
that was after me, yeah.
yeah. Between Triax, the cable company, and then Frontier, yeah, so some of them belong to them.
Can we
It's-
cut the line and see if someone complains?
They did.
You better be on standby.
They did? They cut
Yeah.
off?
One of the residents outside of town cut it. That's why
Listening to the sawmill
It's
and
leaning.
nightstands on fire.
I just saw that
Yeah,
on,
That's what I've been listening to.
Somebody just south of us earlier, around, what time was that, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
When we saw they were burning tires.
Yes, yeah.
Woo,
Just outside town.
it was blowing into town, it was just outside of town.
My
and
wife said something about when she came home. She
Yeah.
said, "I smell
Black
smoke
smoke
and
Oh,
fire."
it was
everywhere.
rubber. It was
Who was
definitely
burning it?
Wasn't
We
me.
don't know, but
Wasn't
it
me.
It
was,
was somewhere south.
it
Wasn't
was
me. I
bad.
can't afford that fine.
Yeah, and it was big, black everywhere, we were like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
it was
wood.
definitely rubber burning, so.
We smelled it on the pike, and I was like, holy.
But you have to remember, if it was in Rush County, they allow, what is it, 1 tire for every 50 feet of fence road?
Some do.
I didn't think the state allowed you to burn tires.
You're allowed, somehow it works out, I don't know.
Would it blow all the way from Rush County?
Well,
Yeah, if it would be okay with you guys to switch it over, then, like I said,
Yes.
Earl and I can work on that, and get that done.
You gotta make an
we'll
official.
vote on it.
You gotta make a vote.
Make a motion for the fire department to take over the power bill in their name.
Second it.
Third it.
Passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And we will be having a pancake breakfast again in June, so 6/21, June 21st will be our pancake breakfast.
Is that my Saturday off work or my Saturday on work?
I don't know.
I
I can't keep track of my schedule.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
you always seem to schedule it when I'm at work.
June 21st.
Summer solstice.
Let's go to June.
And we'll be putting stuff out about
Ooh,
that.
I'm off that Saturday.
We'll just be getting back.
Then
What
what would it
time?
cost to put a well over here for the fire department?
I don't know if it'd be any different than a house, but
It's pancakes.
I know minimum now for a well is about 10 grand.
Yeah.
That's a bare minimum.
Yeah.
When I built my house, it was $4,700 and now it's 10 grand.
they can't run some kind of line from our well over to there.
It's the pump system.
It's the-
I don't, yeah, the pump is the big problem, and right now, if we run water, if we wash 2 of our fire trucks, we run out of water and have to stop for like 30 minutes and wait.
What do you do to fill your tankers?
we go to Caddis, to the, power station out there to Duke and fill.
Well, I
We
know-
can't fill it. We have a 250 gallon tank on our rescue truck, and it'll take an hour and a half to fill it over here.
Yeah.
We can't fill any,
Well,
we barely fill the toilet over
a
here.
couple of years ago when we did the Easter, was it Easter?
That was the summer.
Summer.
The summer, yeah, we were filling water balloons
And rented.
and it was tripping the breaker
Yeah.
because the pump was getting too hot.
Yeah.
And we were just filling water balloons.
You'll run out of water in a hurry over here.
Maybe that's.
Because of the pump or what? Is that
I
what-
assume. I don't know what the deal is
Pump
with
probably
it.
needs to be up.
But I know originally when they built the building, the plan was to put in a separate well. And then they ended up running over budget and they didn't get the well put in. So that's why it's shared water. And it's not a great situation, but it's something we're probably gonna have to deal with for another year anyway.
Where, do you know where the pump is located?
Yeah, it's right out there.
Well, it'd be on the, yeah.
I mean, could
It's
we,
out there by that rock.
could we look and see
There's a
if maybe
cleanout
the
pipe
pump
right
just
out
needs
there.
to be
Yeah.
upgraded?
Oh, I'm sure it wouldn't hurt it a bit.
You know, and then what's the
Yeah,
cost
I mean,
involved? And,
Submergible pumps,
How do you check that without pulling the pump up and looking at it?
yeah, I don't,
that's how you do it.
yeah, I don't know anything about it.
If you're gonna do that, you may as well go ahead and replace it.
Yep.
It's not like.
Check the check valve on the bottom and see.
Is there
make
any
sure it's-
grants or anything you could get?
Well, like I said, the community foundation, we're going, but we can only do it once a year. They do it twice a year, but you're only eligible once a year. So I wouldn't be eligible again until next spring. And then, REMC does one every year, which we'll apply for. Theirs doesn't open until mid-March, 15th, 16th, something like that.
Would they go that much on a well?
Probably not.
The Whites still give their grants? The
What's
Whites-
that?
The Whites from Shirley that used to
I don't know.
give out the grants? You
I've
know,
been
that
doing-
don't get the ones, own
I've
Gas
got 4
America.
right now on my calendar of when they open. Cause, Firehouse Subs does a really good one,
Has anybody?
but they only take so many applications and once, I mean, you gotta be ready to click submit on the computer before.
Wonder if Peacock would be interested in that.
I can talk to Joe. I deal with Joe very frequently, but,
He's really.
But maybe you can get a hold of it, cause I haven't been able to.
I called him right now, he answer.
What time did you say your pancake breakfast was?
I think we normally do 8 to 11.
I told him 6.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't wanna get
I
there.
thought it was 7.
This starts at 8, we gotta get there about 6:30, so.
Okay.
I don't wanna get there much earlier than that. But yeah, it's something that we could look at grants, and then with Dakota, the township trustee, they've started a rolling fund for us every year. They put so much money in an account for us, and it's a cumulative fund
Yeah,
So-
He's doing a pretty good job.
that we can't, I mean, all we have to do is pay for it or submit a receipt and they'll reimburse us a check, so. And then with lit money coming in now, it's more realistic that we could afford to pay for it in the next 2 years, but obviously a grant would be much better, but we also
That's
need,
something we need to check into. 'cause
I also need about $4,000 worth of fire hose. I still have 3 sets of gear I need to replace at $5,000 a piece, and so, yeah. We got a lot of stuff we need right now. But
Yeah, but the fire department needs water.
needs what?
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah, we just always fill, like if we have a fire in Knightstown, we just fill up their hydrant before we come back. If it's fire around here, we just go to Caddis, or if it's in Shirley, we'll fill at Shirley's hydrant, or Newcastle, we filled at their hydrants.
Yeah.
Because we've helped Newcastle twice in the last few months.
So that's something that costs you guys, or it's
No,
just an
No, you just,
No, Duke Energy put a fire hydrant out there for any local fire departments that want to fill. So they have a well, and it fills pretty quick.
Yeah.
But no, it's not a bad deal at all. It's just a matter of.
Time.
Yeah. And if we put in a well big enough with a big enough pump, we could probably actually put a hydrant out here somewhere to fill our trucks out of.
It'd be nice in the summer to fill pools.
Yes. The trip to Caddis is a pain,
Mhm.
depending on which we've limited a lot of that pool filling stuff just because, I mean, people are wanting us to go to Carthage to fill swimming pools. I can't have a truck out of Newcastle that long, or out of town that long. To go, and some of them like my pool, I mean, it's 12 loads of water.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of fuel to get back and forth to Caddis for 12 loads of fuel. So,
Do you have any additional information, Ben?
I do not. I think I'm done.
Do you know what date the spring grant opens?
You mean
Or is that on the
fall?
website?
March 20th.
You mean the fall grant?
The fall, yeah.
The fall, no, I don't. I haven't looked
Okay.
at fall because we won't be able to apply.
Okay.
If we get the one in the spring, if we don't get it, we can reapply in the fall. But
Okay.
if we do end up getting the grant in the spring, then I can't apply until next spring.
Okay.
And last year they gave us one set of gear, so.
I don't think they they tell you the date, just like this one, they only tell you like a couple of weeks before the deadline or something.
Well, because all it is a letter of intent. I mean, it's about a 10-minute letter of intent. You submit it by email and it's done. And then once you get selected, then they have like, they let me know one day last week. So I have about 4 weeks to submit the full application. That's when you have to have your quotes turned in and all that stuff. You don't even have to have quotes to do the letter of intent.
Yeah, cause I did all of that and you requested $20,000, but I didn't, on the where it has, why do you want this, or what are you gonna use the money for? That was where I didn't get that stuff finished.
But it'll open in the fall. August or September probably.
Okay.
Chris, you wanna go?
Sure. Piece of mail that came to our mailbox. Don't know who that is.
Wiseman?
Yeah.
They've not lived here for years.
Although the daughter works at Menard.
Send it back, not at this address.
Yeah.
Anybody can drop it.
So I did take Jennifer's ordinances and we scaled them back tremendously,
Even
obviously.
more?
Still looks to me.
Well, it's nowhere near, it's over
Make
300
it big
pages.
font.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
look at
was
mine.
over 300 pages. I mean,
No, Jennifer's was only like 20-some pages.
yeah, the only thing, well, hers was missing all Title 10.
Yeah, because I left that for you.
Right.
Because that's the police.
And then there was a couple of other things that were missing that were out of there. But anyway, I printed these so you guys would have the next month to review these.
Okay.
Mark them, whatever, but I stripped a lot of stuff out that didn't really necessarily pertain to us now, but could in the future. But anyway, go through it, and then there may be some additional things that we want to add to it. Some things that you had removed were like, for example, properties in Greensboro. So I can think of one unfortunate property here that could be just bulldozed, but it wasn't included in the ordinance that the town would have the opportunity to control dilapidated properties and have them
Yeah.
reviewed and stuff like that. So some of that has made it back in here.
Okay, because the attorney told us that that's really just a waste of time and money.
If we don't have the money to do that, we
Well,
don't
no,
want to.
right, but
I guess if it's in writing, it doesn't happen.
yes,
Yeah, it can't
correct,
happen.
right. So it's best to at least have it
Mm-hmm.
and approve it for the future,
Yeah.
right? That's what you gotta be forward thinking. I talked to a good attorney friend and he was like, you put it in black and white and it protects you for the future is basically what it is. It may not necessarily pertain to you now, but in the event that it happens, right? Because one of the things that was removed out of here was burning trash, right? So,
I
Did you
didn't
remove
think,
that on purpose?
no, are you sure, Ms.
Yeah.
Dawn?
yeah. So.
Wow, no,
so-
because I burn trash frequently.
Yeah, so, the state has their laws on what
Yeah.
you can and can't burn, like we ran into that issue about burning trees, remember?
Mhm.
Right? So, again, you gotta have it in black and white, and we may not necessarily run into it, but it's there, and it kind of protects the town going forward. So, there are a few other things, but a lot of the stuff, was omitted or has been removed. So anyway, I printed 3 of them for you guys to go through in the next month or whatever, and then there may be other things, whatever. That's enough.
Okay, so, I
Law
have
book,
less of a question and more of a statement about this. What is the next step? How can we finally get this done? This issue has been kicked around for 2 years, 3 years, and it's kind of like, well, you're supposed to talk to them, you're supposed to talk, and we gotta do this, and you gotta do this, and we gotta print this out, we need this copy, and nothing gets done. How can we, finally put this to bed and move forward?
The next step, once we approve it, will be taking it to a lawyer to get it adopted.
Maybe we should make an appointment so that we've got a deadline and we've got that
We'll,
next
we'll
step
have
in
to have a
place.
check for $250.
We can do that.
Okay.
At least.
So February hours, we had 270 and a half patrol hours, we had 36 admin hours, totaling 304.5 hours. There was 24 traffic stops, of which only 4 citations were written, there were 20 warnings given, 117 business checks, and we were dispatched on 3 runs. That's all I have for stats. I think so today we checked, the dumpster was locked today when he checked. However, last week the dumpster was still unlocked, so so they come every 2 weeks. So for whatever reason, it was unlocked for a whole nother week. I don't know why they're coming and emptying and not locking it back, but I think they emptied the last Tuesday, and so it's been locked since. So maybe they'll continue to lock it going forward. I don't know. We'll see.
Who's the carrier on that buster?
Rumpke.
I just go in and tell them that they're not locking them back.
Yeah, Ellie's been handling it with them, and I mean, I guess it depends on the driver.
Yeah, they
You
just
know,
don't wanna.
some lock, some don't. I don't know.
Yeah,
I do have an update on insurance.
I did forget, because mine ends at 5, and I stopped at 10, so I didn't send off.
So I don't know why, but these folks at the insurance are an issue. We established that last month. Trying to bring up the email. So at last month's meeting, we talked about how originally they were allowing, or she was going to look into doing a 6-month payment plan, and paying the 60% due. The town board agreed with that. I had sent an email on February 7th. No, sorry, on February 4th, Tuesday, the following day, after the town board meeting, I had sent an email indicating that the town board had voted to continue forward with the 6-month insurance plan and payment. I asked for her to send us the information and the link so we could make the payment online for the 60% required. She replied on the 7th, said the carrier sent the invoice for the renewal for the annual amount. She says, I had emailed and requested it be changed to the 2 payments, but they are not able to alter it for me. I had told them that we were waiting on the board to pick either the 2-pay plan or the annual plan. Anyway, I got back with her the following, so on Sunday the 9th, I emailed her and I said, after speaking with the town board and giving them the info below, they have indicated that this is unacceptable. An option for the 6-month payment plan was offered, and that's what they continue to expect. They are willing to move forward on paying the 60% due as previously discussed. She responded the following day and says, I'm getting back with the carrier on this, I'll keep you posted. That was February 10th. I did not hear back from her until the 17th. She says, I did hear back from the carrier, and it sounds like management is approving the pay plan change to the 2-pay. I am supposed to have the updated invoice from them today, so I'll send your updated copies once I have that. That was on Sunday, February 17th. I didn't hear back from her. I sent her another email on the 25th. So that was Tuesday, the 25th. I asked for an update, no response. I sent her another email yesterday on Sunday. She finally replied to me today at 3 o'clock. It says, "Hi Chris, sorry for the delay. I have followed up with the carrier twice since we last spoke for an updated invoice. I'm hoping to have one soon. I'll send over ASAP." So, I have been in contact with a gentleman by the name of David George. I think I mentioned that last month, doing the shopping around with that company called Gallagher. They're out of Muncie. He sent an email to me this morning, actually, 8:48. He had knee surgery, so he's been kind of MIA. He forwarded it on to, he is the area vice president for Gallagher, so he forwarded it on to some lady named Michelle Johnson. Anyway, so Michelle's supposed to be looking more into this and reviewing if they can get us with the same insurance company, Highland or Astra. So I'm just waiting on response from Michelle Johnson. So we're still shopping, but no invoice. So
I'm worried that if something happened today,
Yeah.
they could deny us because we haven't made a payment. I know they said they bonded it, whatever that meant back in January. But in my mind, no money equals no coverage.
yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. She did say that they did bond it and that we're covered, but if we don't have an invoice to pay, I don't know what else we can do.
Well, you got that email from her.
Yeah.
So you should be covered.
I mean, we got a paper trail.
We do, yes, we do have a paper trail, absolutely. You know, and kind of goes back to what we talked about several months ago, you know, I reached out and started this process with her back in September of last year, and, you know, she was not following through. And then once the bill came due, then she was readily available, of course. But,
You say you're looking for another insurance.
yeah, we're just shopping, just to
You need to
see.
stick with that because you need to get away from her.
Who do you
Yeah,
have- Who's it with?
McGowan,
Because I remember at one time, we had our insurance with Finnegan.
Same place.
Is it? And they were
It's
charging,
McGowan now.
they were charging us $6,700 a year for these two buildings and the liability, blanket liability. And then when I got their big thick paperwork, it had highway department, street department, this department, that department. So I went up there and talked to Dave Bundy. And I said, we are not gonna pay for services that Newcastle has and Middletown and Knightstown has. We don't have a street department, we don't have this, we don't have that. And if you don't get it down, I'm going somewhere else.
right,
He got it down from 6,400 to 3,700.
well, you know,
I
what's interesting with
highlighted
this-
everything that we did not have.
Yeah,
And there was like 2 pages of stuff that we had,
right.
50 pages of stuff that all the other towns had.
Yeah, well, she kind of surprised me. So when I was talking to some of the other insurance companies, they said that normally the rule of thumb in the insurance industry is that if they suspect that premiums are going to rise, that they're supposed to let their customers know with a 90-day advance notice, just so they're prepared. Well, I started this process in September, preparing, saying, hey, give me an update, let me know where we stand, because January's gonna be coming. January got here, and I got hit with this invoice that says, oh, hey, by the way, and she did this on her own without consulting us. She changed our premium, or I'm sorry, our deductible on our cars from 500 to 1,000, and never even talked to me about it. Just automatically said, well, here's your new deductible. Like,
Well, that's what they did with me, they just sent me something saying this is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I just went up there, I didn't call them, I just
Yeah.
went up there and took it. Because I had highlighted everything that we did not have.
Right.
And almost everything on there was highlighted.
Well,
And she said, well, what we do is we take what all the other towns have and then we average it out.
yeah,
I said, yeah, you're averaging it out and you're thinking that I'm gonna pay
right,
for their street department, their,
Right.
and all that. And I said, I'm not paying it.
Well, and then I did call her out that I had found on one of the latter pages. There were some questionable things in there that we didn't quite understand that she had quoted. And when I called her out on it, she gave an explanation back and says, well, I'm not quite sure. Let me look into it. And I'm like, wait a minute. You put that in and we're expected to pay that, but when I ask you what that's for and you can't give me an answer? Yeah, so it was.
I'd be-
She
I'd
seems
be
more like-
looking
Does
for
David
another
still work
company.
there?
Secretary
far as I
intermediary.
know.
Yeah, and the worst,
She's done much more than we
and the
have.
He's
worst
the
part
one-
about it
he's
is
the one
her
who-
title is commercial lines account manager. And, I mean, she should know what she's selling
Yeah.
or putting in paper, you would think.
You guys need to be looking for somebody else.
Yeah,
You can't deal with somebody like
Yeah.
that.
Well, we've had insurance with him for years and years. But David got on the phone and he called their corporate office and he talked to him. And he said, we've had insurance for years and years and this is how much money we've made off of them. And she's gonna cancel the insurance with us and go somewhere else. Well, there's only so many companies. He
Sure.
said, well, there's only so many companies that cover towns and cities and commercial places.
So this one that I reached out to, this Gallagher, they are like McGowan in that they are the broker. And then they send the information out to the different companies. But they also, I believe, they are a sub-company, and I don't remember the name of it, the company that covers Greenfield, and that's how I found them when I did a Google search. So if we can get with them, I mean, Greenfield's well covered. I think they got their ducks in a row. So I don't know, we'll see. But I'm not opposed to shopping for more. I mean,
Who does Knightstown have?
I don't know.
They don't even have very many policemen anymore, they quit.
Or town council.
Yeah,
Well,
they're down to
yeah,
3
they-
out of 5.
There's something seriously going wrong down there. That would just quit like that.
Yeah, you went to Shirley.
Does anyone have any new business?
That's all I have.
I have a question. Is anything gonna be done about the house with the trailer full of trash in front of their property? Cause eventually it's gonna get warm and eventually it's gonna stink.
I talked to
Yeah.
him Friday night or Saturday night? No, across the street.
I saw where a
The
bag
guys
had
who walked
blown
in.
off into
Yeah.
Wallace's
Oh.
yard.
I don't know how the cats haven't tore into it, to be honest with you.
You talking about the house, the horse trailer full of trash?
No,
No.
Inches?
No.
Next to
Disick's old
Wallace's.
house.
Oh,
I had offered
Right by now.
extending some help to them, a couple months ago, I think it was 2 months ago, because the last meeting you were at. And I told him, that we could offer him a little bit of help just one time, because they are fairly new to town. I've talked to them, they've got a lot of family, medical, different things going on, kind of feel bad for them. And when I talked to him, it was like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to take care of it in a couple weeks anyways, they're gonna get my trash cans out here, and then it's just gonna be all taken care of. Cool, perfect, well, the offer's there if you need some help. Here we are 2 months later.
I've not seen it.
I talked to him, and it's grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I talked to him just a week or so approximately ago. And again, it's gonna be taken care of, it's the guy that I ran off of, and he's gonna take his trail, he's gonna do this and do this and this, and I'll let you determine how you feel about
He
that.
told me
The offer was
Thursday night
extended.
or Friday night. He told me that it should be moved within the next 2 weeks. The guy it's somebody that he works with, that he rents off of,
Mhm.
that with the cold snaps, they had to change jobs. The guy couldn't get to this to get it moved. And he said, the guy told him within the next 2 weeks, because he's been telling the guy, hey, the people in town's not very happy about this trailer sitting out here with all this trash.
Yeah.
And,
It's right on Main Street.
Yeah.
I mean, people drive through town and that's all it.
Another reason we need to get these passed, so we can say,
Yeah.
yeah, we.
And I
we need some
included
more
that
money.
in there, so that was kind of omitted, so I put it back.
Right.
So it does have trash.
And that
I,
still
I
becomes tricky,
get
but-
that people struggle, I really do, but it's been a while.
It
You-
is.
You've given him his verbal warning, the next step is a letter.
Yeah, well, and really, the first wasn't even a verbal warning, it was a hand of, hey, let us
Yeah.
help you out. And you didn't take the offer, and it's just disappointing, I guess.
I just thought of something also, change subject, sorry. I did have one more thing. Chris at the Bobber Shop, the Henry County Health Department, you know more about this, but they came out, he's waiting on something, and they told him that they will not sign off, that the town board has to sign off for him.
He's wanting to put
Where's
in
kitchen?
Yeah, and without us having building inspector or anything like that, I don't know.
Has he got a hold of you?
Well, in the
Just go up
original,
and have a ceremony and crescent it and say, we dug the.
Yeah, so he told you about it, right? So you
Yeah.
told him, because you.
Well, it did exactly what you said, it just.
Yeah, so that Henry County Health Department came out and said, that's on your town.
Yeah, they said it was okay, they need to have the fire inspector look at it, or the fire chief look at it. And
And this is for what?
just the kitchen.
The
Yeah.
kitchen, okay.
Just to make sure that you say, yeah, it looks like if it caught on fire, it'd burn.
I mean, but we're not certified.
You don't have to be.
He
You
is.
don't? Well,
Apparently
he is.
not.
Yeah, he is for the fire side of it.
Yeah,
but
for the fire side of it.
But if you don't have a building inspector, you don't have.
We always use the
electrical-
one at Knightstown.
He won't
He won't do it.
You
No.
won't do it now?
No.
Nope,
That's a
Chris
good
even,
thing.
Chris even reached out to him to see, he even reached out to him, to the.
Who does Fire Fund use?
County.
Well, he
The only-
reached out, yeah, he
The
reached
only
out.
town around here that has a building inspector outside of Knightstown is Henry County,
And that guy,
in the city of Newcastle.
he won't, they don't wanna come out here and do it. They told him just have somebody on his
So
town
you,
council.
one of you guys
I'll
have
do
been
it.
blessed.
Yeah, I'll
as
do
a
it.
building
I would think the
inspector.
Board of Health would have to have something.
They've already passed it.
There's gotta be.
Oh, well,
like-
they've done that, then I don't know.
Yeah, the board of health
Right.
already passed it.
Oh, okay.
I just worry about liability on our behalf if we go up there
Yeah,
and say,
that's,
okay, it's good, and then something tragic was to
Yeah, well,
happen.
and if you don't know what you're looking at.
Right.
Right, you're not a building inspector, right? You, yeah.
my daughter does stuff for OSHA, does that count?
Maybe we need to have Chris up there get us something in black and white of what he needs so we can,
Research it.
And
Yeah.
what he already has approved, if anything, through the Board of Health.
Is
or
there,
whatever.
is there a state inspector that can come out that the county won't do?
I'm not sure on that.
I wonder if that's just a licensed electrician.
Who inspected the restaurant, the Longhorn Restaurant?
I don't know, you could ask Brent Hughes.
Probably
He would
no.
know.
Yeah, that,
If you ever looked at the wiring in there,
Yeah.
That's not
there's
in there.
no way.
Well,
anybody
when
else
we
would
looked
do
at
it.
buying the building, the roof was, I mean, it was being held up with a 4x4 post. I mean, it was bad.
He's fixed all that.
No, he did, I know,
You don't
but I
see
wasn't
the
gonna
wiring
buy it
hanging
with-
down.
Has he had inspections on the
Yeah.
repairs that he's done that's passed?
Yeah. He had to go in and change some of the electrical because he didn't like the way that the way that they ran the wire is how any electrician in the world would wanna run it. The inspector made him go in and change it a different way, so now it's got jumper boxes in it instead, which is an absolute no-no when you're doing that. The less boxes you have, the better.
Maybe if he can present to you anything he's passed already.
Cause
Guys
I
can
was
look it
standing
over,
there
see
when
if
he
anything
looked
else
at,
you
when
think
he, and
of.
I looked at the guy, I said, you're serious?
Well, they got his lights turned on, so.
yeah, I think this has more to do with the
Pizza.
pizza side, the restaurant
Right.
side of it, which I don't know, without being in conversation, I'm not gonna guess, but.
If you see him, ask him to come to the next
Yeah.
month's meeting.
I'll give him a call tomorrow.
Cause if he, I mean, that way he can be prepared if he has to sign off on it.
Yeah, the way I took it was they told him that the fire chief just needed to come in and look at it and make sure it was all right.
Make sure.
I guess you just gotta make sure the
Check
fire
the
extinguisher.
gas
and that kind of
valves.
stuff.
Make
I'll
sure-
call him
Yes.
tomorrow, Ben, and see what he needs, and then I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah, see what you got yourself in.
Hey, charge him $100.
Get some free pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what, tell him about your pancake breakfast, cause he will bring, I mean, he brought some pizzas for us for our Christmas event.
yeah.
So tell them about your pancake breakfast. They might donate something, even ice.
Like
You
gift
know.
cards or something,
Yeah,
or
Free nightcrawler.
fishing pole.
yeah, have a, yeah.
You notice when he put the bobber up, it's
It's upside down.
it's upside down. He said he didn't notice that until he was looking at it.
Hey, I had a quick question. I mentioned a while back about trying to do town signs, town of Greensboro signs. And it's been a while, but I did send a text of the one that I had in mind that is like the iron kettle. You can go look at that, or I can send it to you guys again.
Oh, I've seen it.
And we
Yeah,
talked
I
about,
read that.
you know, maybe considering other designs too, and, you know, or possibly Michael doing a sign.
Because I thought you had said this because Michael had done it.
Yeah,
No?
no, yeah,
No.
that's metal and wood. So anyways, I just want
Hi, guys.
to get
Thanks-
opinions,
thanks for
you
coming.
know, do we want to get a couple of designs?
Thank
you, Mary.
Thank you.
He told me very roughly, we were just talking 500-ish dollars. But,
Do you remember the size on that?
yeah, not yay, not yay.
I mean, cause
Half the
just
size
me
of table.
looking
or-
at it, it looks like the stuff that you can get at Lowe's, the corrugated stuff. And then the letters look like something he's just bought at Hobby Lobby. But I
My
could be wrong on that. They could be
understanding-
routed, but
Yeah, I believe they are, because that's his whole thing is he does metal works. And so.
I've got a full sheet, it's either gray or blue, someone stole the other two I had black, but, the full sheet,
this is the
Metal.
more like ribbed, like the
Oh.
old school.
oh,
Yeah.
I think this is like on the
Yeah.
garage, you know.
It is, the sign itself is just kind of regular building material, and his effort, I think, is probably in the lettering that
Mhm.
I think he cuts out of metal. That's what I think. But I mean, it's just something that I like, we can consider other designs, I just
I would
wanna
like a
get
sign.
ideas. If you guys don't like that, then let's get another design together, or maybe we can ask for input.
The one on the door,
I would like a sign, something.
yeah.
Cause that little itty bitty 12x12 green and white sign at the end of the, that's just horrible. We need something better, bigger and better.
Yeah. Like, what's the size of the one down at the farm?
That's a 5x12.
That's big.
That's too big.
That's what I say, that might be a little.
We'd have to
big.
put that over the street.
Right,
4x6 or a
Go faster,
4x4
we're out here to put it up on
plenty
the
big
interstate
enough, I think.
signs.
Bucket truck.
That's what they do. They hang the interstate signs.
I'm trying to think if a 6-foot would be too wide in the areas of.
so I know we like the thing that's on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that comes to mind that, as far as a design that anybody likes? That's the thing, yeah.
You got any input on a sign, Ben? No? Any thoughts? Something bigger that says, hey, welcome to Greensboro?
I kinda like what's on the door,
Mm-hmm.
and I like those signs that like, you have that in the middle, and then you have your post coming up on, and then have like a flower bed or something.
Yeah.
I like.
But then, the only thing with that is,
It's on other people's
it's
property.
on other people's property. So you have to get permission or purchase that piece of property off of the person to be able to put the sign there.
I mean, it could be discussed when, as we're putting the new signs in, if the property owner would allow a flower bed underneath of it.
I was kinda hoping.
Cause we have so much in easement, but then again, when you start putting structures in easement, there's a whole different
Yeah.
clause.
Should there technically be a sidewalk there?
Well, not once you.
Not where-
Not on that side.
Well, it may be a bit of an, well, it is a bit of an assumption, but I was thinking at least on two sides of town,
Mm-hmm.
I figured the cemetery maybe would work with this. if you put something out there, it seems like a good place on coming off the pike. Now, on this end of the town, we've got the fire department right there.
Well, and I don't know if it has to be directly at city limits or not as well.
I guess I just assumed it didn't have to because I've seen other ones that aren't in places.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
That
don't
doesn't mean
think,
nothing.
as long as it's,
Yeah.
We're not gonna take down the town limit signs, I don't guess, but I don't know, just, I'm looking for ideas, so hopefully we can get something going.
We've done that, and there at the point at the pike, where the cemetery is, we could put a decent sized one there.
Mm-hmm.
Have it as you're coming north, have it on the left-hand side, right, kind of at an angle. I like that, I think that's, and that gives you plenty of room. Who's in charge of the cemetery?
Figuring out where you're gonna put it,
Yeah.
Yes.
because then that will let you know
Is
how
that
big.
right, Dakota's in charge of
Dakota.
the cemetery?
I mean, I would like to clean up, I've just been working on the back of the cemetery, but I would like to clean up around the road too.
Like I said, pie in the
Wait,
sky, I'd
wait,
like to
hold
have
on.
4 of them, but.
So as you're going, hold on, I'm confused, because one person told us we couldn't park there. So there's a little drive that you could barely fit a car in on the side of the cemetery.
Yep.
Yes,
And somebody complained because we were sitting there running radar and said, we can't sit there any longer, so we don't sit there any longer.
it's not like personal property.
They said it was theirs.
No,
They're talking about the gravel lot.
No, I'm talking about where Steve, remember where you put the trailer out that time?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
oh, you're talking about on the pike itself.
No, it was right next to the cemetery, and they have a mailbox.
Yeah, that's their property,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And aren't
That's-
there's
cause that
electric
property
stuff
comes all the
there?
way from Mill Street,
mhm,
all the way over to the pike.
yeah, that's Lori and
Yeah.
Rogers.
I know you're talking about the road that goes into the.
Where that entrance goes in, that's yeah.
I mean, it's not even an entrance, it's just where the mailboxes are.
Yeah, there used to be a house there that was an entrance to a house that sat there, and then they bought the property.
And then that's out of town limits.
I will work on getting some stuff together on signs. Anybody else have anything?
No, it's 8:06.
Meeting adjourned. Who gets the financials?
6.
Thanks, Ben.
Whoever did them last month, please make sure you sign them. And I don't know who's trying to do this.
Do you guys wanna come do anything with us on Easter?